Good morning. I thought I would read another blog post real quick this morning before I get started with my work day. This blog post, I was able to go back and look and see when I was writing these blog posts. I had said before I couldn't remember when I started writing, and it was 2019 that I was posting on this blog. So this one is titled Food Network and Tears. So Benjamin would usually stay up with Hayden until 11 p.m., and then I would get up. At that time, we had Hayden. Benjamin was working two jobs to put me through nursing school. Anyway, I slept on the couch and Hayden in a bassinet by me. You see, Hayden only slept for 2 hours at a time because he stayed hungry. 10 years later, what's many more years later, he's only 16, he's still hungry all the time. Side note, before kids, we slept with a white noise machine. Back to the story. I remember crying to my aunt about him not sleeping very well, and she said, try having the TV on and maybe he will sleep better. I was willing to try anything. Well, that's where the Food Network channel came in. In the wee hours of the morning, I would watch Tyler Florence, feed Hayden, and sob. No offense to Tyler Florence, but I cannot watch any of his shows to this day. Peace and love. Um, yeah, that's true. So I would have the Food Network on, and Tyler Florence had a show. I don't even remember the name of the show now, but it would all of his episodes would just run concurrently through the night till like 5 a.m. and then something else would come on. And that's what I watched and listened to, and I would just cry and his voice would just be playing, but it was soothing to Hayden having that TV on. So my aunt was right. He did like having that when he would wake up. So, but I still cannot watch his shows even today. I just cannot when he comes on. No offense. Great guy, great chef. Um, I guess what's funny about that story is to me now looking back is Ben and I would sleep with a white noise machine in our room to sleep. And why I didn't think of doing that instead of the TV, I don't know. Um, but eventually we did start using one for Hayden, and it did help him rest a little better. But he was just hungry. I mean, he just wanted to eat, and he just was not satisfied with the formula. I could not breastfeed very long with him. That a lot of that had to do with I he was again, I had said before, he was in the NICU for several days, so I was not allowed to feed him, and we were trying to pump um, while he was in the NICU so I could have, some milk for him, and it just, pumping was going okay, but it just, wasn't enough supply for him, and so we were supplementing with formula and it just still wasn't enough. He just, stayed hungry. So anyway, that's just a short, story about the Food Network. Just having that and background noise, you know, um, it was just a random channel. I don't even know why I picked that channel, but it's just funny because I don't know why I picked the television when I could have just put a noise machine like we were using. So I don't know. Things that you think about, looking back on what you would have, should have, could have done, better. Um, yeah, so that's the Food Network and Tears story. I also had mentioned that that was the hardest time for me when the sun started to kind of go down. I knew that the long nights were coming, and that's when I would have really bad anxiety. I knew Ben had to get some rest. He was working two jobs, uh, and he needed to rest. So it was just a weird time because there was no reason that it should have been so. I felt so alone because he was there with me. And I know that if I would have got him up and said, listen, I'm struggling, I need you to help me, he would have helped me. But I did. It was just, it was a lonely time. Every time the sun started to set, I just knew that that loneliness was going to take over and my anxiety was going to be bad. And so I don't know, maybe thank you to Tyler Florence. He did keep me company during those months before Hayden actually started sleeping, in his crib in the nursery. I don't know, maybe he was 4 months old and he started sleeping in there because he started sleeping, longer periods of time. And I didn't feel like it would be so much of a disruption if I, slept in the room with my husband because again, I wanted him to get as much rest as he could. And if I was getting up every 2 hours and the baby was waking up, he was not gonna rest. And, it was important for him to, take care of himself too. So I don't know. I hope you find this video helpful or encouraging that, you know, doing the best you can is doing the best that you can. And if night times are hard for you and you struggle with that and you feel alone, I want to encourage you to ask for help. And I've said this before, I was not good at that. I did not ask for help. I have people in my life that would have come and stayed the night with me. I have people that I could have opened up to and, you know, explained what I was struggling with. But the shame and embarrassment was so overwhelming that I just didn't want to. And I think a lot for me the shame was because most people in my life knew that I had been praying and wanting to be a mom for long, so long, and the miscarriages and just the health issues that were coming along with trying to get pregnant. I felt like people would judge me and say, "Girl, you've wanted this. Now you've got it. So what's the problem?" Not that people were or would have said that to me. It was in my own mind that I felt like people would have judged me for that. Because again, I had been, I had Hayden late in life. I didn't have him until I was 35, I think, 34, 35. I don't know. So, we started our family later than most women. Um, so I just felt like people would be like, you've asked for this, you've prayed for this, you wanted this, and now you've got it. So enjoy all the things. And, the internet was not my friend. YouTube was not my friend back then because I was watching all of these, channels, of moms and homemakers and, all of this. And they were talking about just how wonderful, life was with their new babies. And I had to shut that down quick because it was not good for me. So that made me feel even more inadequate because I'm watching these people on YouTube, like you're watching me, say that, oh, they wake up and roll out of bed and their makeup's perfect and their baby's perfectly clean and the house looks wonderful. And you're struggling with depression and a newborn baby. And you're watching these women that make everything look perfect. And, I had to realize that that's a snippet and that's not reality. I'm sure they're going through their own struggles. Things are not perfect for any new mom, whether you're dealing with postpartum depression or not. So I had to really kind of shut that down and turn, things off that were once inspiring to me, turn that off because I was judging myself against all these other moms that I was watching on YouTube or seeing on Facebook. And, that even started during pregnancy because pregnancy was not fun for me. I did not enjoy being pregnant one bit. I stayed sick most all of my first and second trimester. I did not have morning sickness. I had morning, noon, and night sickness. I was going through nursing school. I would vomit in the bathroom at the hospital. wash my face and go back out and, try to do my job at that time. And so I was also watching these women, talk about how beautiful pregnancy, was for them and how great they felt. And they were going to the gym and they were still running 5 miles a day. And I'm like, sis, all I can do is, throw on some scrubs and put my hair in a ponytail. So I, just had to be careful of what I was um, absorbing, as far as social media went and TV shows that I was watching to kind of make me even feel more inadequate at that time. So I'd also encourage you to do that. Maybe have to step back and take a look at what you're watching or reading, and what you're filling your mind and your soul with. Because, people on YouTube, you're seeing a snippet, you're seeing what they want you to see. Um, I've heard some people say it's a highlight reel, and that's true. It's edited. I'm sure these women did not wake up, looking perfect. They got up, did their makeup, did their hair, went back to bed, started the camera like they rolled up, but when you're going through it, you're like, oh man, like she woke up just looking amazing and I haven't showered in 3 days. Like this is how can we be so different? So just be careful of, what you're filling your soul with. Find things that nourish your body and nourish your soul, nourish your mind and your spirit. And don't be afraid to ask for help. That's just probably going to be my message with every video that I post on here. However, long, this channel stays up or going, I'm learning. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just hitting record and, reading these blog posts and kind of just talking. So there's no, I don't know how to edit videos. So if you hear a kid run through or you hear a noise or the cat jumps up here, that's just how it's going to be because I have no clue about any of the editing skills. You're not going to see, high quality videos. I hope the content is quality though. I really hope. My prayer for this channel is if one person comments on any video that they see me, they hear me, and they've experienced that, and it gives them a little bit of hope and encouragement, then I will consider this a success, even, 6, 7 videos in with 6 subscribers as of today, So I will consider that a win because that is really the goal. Um, Postpartum depression is not talked about a lot. It really isn't. And I think it really is because women feel ashamed. They feel ashamed because it's natural for us. God intended, designed us to be the mothers and to have the babies and be the you know nourishers and just all the things that God intended us to be. And you really feel like you're letting yourself and your family down when you deal with postpartum depression. And so women don't talk about it. And they suffer in silence a lot. And, for me, I didn't have tragic consequences, but there's so many stories out there where, you know, women do take extreme measures, drastic measures that have, high life-changing consequences. So I will always direct you back to a healthcare provider, a healthcare professional. If you are struggling, if you need someone to talk to, reach out to your healthcare provider, reach out to a family member, reach out to a friend, because there is help for you. There is an end to the pain that you're experiencing right now. There is. It does not seem like it when you're in it. And I hated when people would tell me that. You're going to get through this, just keep trucking. You're going to come out on the other side. Things are going to be okay. Tomorrow's going to be a little better. I hated when people told me that because I did not feel like it. I could not see past that moment. I could not see You know, I'll talk in another blog post about the medication that I was given and started on. And it's like, oh, well, it takes 6 to 8 weeks to get started, working in your system. I could not think past 6 hours, let alone 6 weeks. So the hope was not really there that things were going to get better. But I can tell you, almost 16 years later, it does get better. I know it doesn't feel like it, but it does. But you have to build a support system. You have to ask for help. That is the first step. That was the first step for me, is asking for help and confiding in someone that I trusted and that I knew was going to be a support to me today, tomorrow, and until. So I just want to leave you with that. I hope everybody has a great day. I'm fixing to have my coffee, get started with my work day, wrap a few presents, and get that finished. So hope everybody has a good day. Thank you for listening. And if you know someone that's struggling, share this video. Thanks.